Good evening and welcome to the KILI Storytelling Hour. My name is Brian, Charging Cloud, and I come up here every Wednesday from 5 to 6. I bring you story, sometimes ohunkanka, education, and always the Lakota language. Because I am Lakota and that is my way of life. And this evening, I wanted to say good evening to our school, Wounded Knee School. I understand our Itancha is somewhere. There's a word called Kuja, maybe a little bit Kuja. So Marnie, get well, and we will see you tomorrow. And also, before I start, I wanted to send out my condolences to the families in Manderson, especially my Tahashi, Billy, and your family, Billy. Just be strong. And also to Mr. Tall's family, and I have his daughter is in my class, and she is one of the best students. So this evening, I just wanted to say that, and school has started. Enrollment is slow. I wonder if it's like that all over the Lakota country. We don't know, but I think last week on the Saturday morning show I mentioned that sometimes, like especially around Labor Day, we always say Doksha Labor Day. That means maybe after Labor Day students will start coming back to school, and that's just one of those things that happens every year. So I want to welcome you to KILI 90.1 right here on Porcupine Butte, 88.7 in Rapid City, KILIradio.org on the internet. And we also have a lot of listeners on the internet, and welcome. Okay. Walehansna takunsna oblake ohunkan kanesh ehani woyake anaha ohinya le Lakota yapikile iwaglake naishnaka wonspe anaha watohansna nakun tuak chiwahi uganas mithaichuge nais uganas tua owaya ekta washa chunji unta lichtatuk ha little semini wank chiwahi Chatoksha uigilakngt. When the evektun jeshni haninakun, Charlie, Chuck, anagopta nakaheche, na Tom, na mithayechuki Karen, na Gerald, Transhi Gerald nakanagopta shnak. Pilamaya apelo, awash agmaya apelo. This evening, we will be talking about this afternoon. I was sitting in my classroom, and we have a visitor, and he will introduce himself. So maybe right now I will let him introduce himself, and then he has a lot of things that he's interested in. So maybe I will learn something from him, or maybe I will rekindle or revitalize my memories. So can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Brian. My name is Brian Danboys, and I just want to say that it's an honor to be here. I'm humbled and privileged to be here on your show, on this program. Mm-hmm. I come out here from Bristol, Connecticut. That's where I was born and raised, and that's where my mother and father still reside. And I've been sending prayers out that way for all the people that are being subject to the harsh climate changes that are taking place. I graduated from the State University in New York out that way, in Cobleskill, New York, with a degree in animal science. And so I bring that with me here, my experience that I've gained through those educational pursuits, and that goes back to, for me, that takes me back to the Diné people, because that's where I first started learning about animal care and horsemanship, and they're the ones who encouraged me to continue in my learning and take it to the university level and get my bachelor's degree, which is what I've done. And I have that out here with that experience I've gained through that out here to hopefully offer it in whatever way I may to the Lakota people, because there's so much that I do get in my learning from these Lakota ways, these traditional Lakota ways.
You know, Ryan, and also this animal science is very important because the Lakota, as Lakota people, you know, like the horse is part of our family, the dog is part of our family, and of course all the living things, the trees, animals, the makoche, the land, and those things are very important to us, and we live in that circle of life with them. And also beyond that, I really I wanted to say thank you for your patience and your dedication. You mentioned that you're very glad to be here in the Lakota country, and last few, like this is only in our second week of school, but I saw you in the third grade room, and then I thought I was going to just see you there one time, and then probably I don't know, I didn't really, think that or what how should I say it, you're still here, and you're really like you really care for our children, and I see you there every day.
Yeah.
And even into my classroom, you brought some students, and it takes a lot of a person with a lot of patience and compassion, and to do something that you're doing. And of course we have, like, especially when you work with young children, they're only 7, 8, 9, 10, around there. And as teachers, you have to really I talked about plan, and that's in fact, like I think 2 weeks ago, I talked. The Lakota word for that was awachi, and that's I even used a turtle as an example. A kea. A turtle, when he goes somewhere, or if he wants to do something, with his patience and with his, he knows where he's going. In other words, he has a plan. So as a teacher, if you don't have a plan, then you're going to lose your class.
Oh yeah.
So that's that's very important, and I know all those teachers are doing that. They're all doing that because they are professionals. And for me, I consider myself as a teacher too. But sometimes I'm not. You have to change in the middle of like you're swimming into across a river, and it's not working right there. You got to change so that you can survive, or you can float, or you can make everybody float and swim in the same direction, not all over.
Right.
So it's that's a hard work, and I'm really glad that you are there, and I hope you stay for a long time.
Me too. Yeah. I was just told by someone I'm really close to here today, who just recently lost a dear relative. And he told me he could tell something different about me since I've been here, and it's not the same. I'm not the same person I was when I first came to the land here. And the time when, and he said it was agreed by other people that he knew, they were talking about it, that I was a different person the first time that I showed up here, and now they can see a different kind of clarity in me, I guess a belonging.
Yeah.
And I feel home here. You know, it might be when people look at me, might not. I'm not someone they're used to seeing around.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's. I see that too. Like I told you, it's we have visitors, or we have people that come to the school, and then they're gone, and then sometimes I think sometimes a lot of talk and a lot of things. They have a lot of vision. They vision a lot of things, visualize, or what do you want to say, dream. And then they put it on paper, but then nothing. It just stays there. And so it takes a person, a special person. If that person wants to do something, then he don't just talk about it. He does it. And I think that's what I see in you. I'm really glad that you're here to help. And then
I'm honored again.
I think everybody just feel the same way that I do. I mean, you're welcome into the. It's just like you're part of our family now at the school, and that's It's, what do you think?
Well, Brian, it's hard to accept it sometimes.
Yes.
To see how thoroughly affected our lives become. When all of a sudden we're we spend all these hours in a day working toward creating something positive together, and it just you just kind of fall into it, and suddenly you're on a team of people who are have the best intentions in their heart for the growth and development of these young people. Because everyone out here knows how that's our future, and it's the most careful bundle that we can carry. I think the most precious bundle we can carry into the world, and that's a huge responsibility that we have.
And anytime you have whether it's any district school, but there's 13 schools on this reservation, and then there's 7 reservations. on South Dakota, and touching North Dakota too. So we have I don't know the exact figure, but like a Rosebud is also Lakota. Cheyenne River, Lakota, and Standing Rock, Sisseton, Low Brook, and like you said, these are all teams, and sometimes it's a very, very important task. And what you do in those classrooms and how you teach and how those students learn, it's just it's a team effort, like you said, and then it's something that you don't just go in there at 8 o'clock and punch in and then leave at 4 o'clock. You have to do it from your heart,
right?
Because it's everything that you do, you have to go beyond further, and a mind is when you teach a mind that it's not going to be you're just going to just teach this much and leave, because each one of those children have a different mind, and some of them might take more than the others.
No.
So you have to be ready to go beyond what you're going to be teaching. And also you have to, like, remember we said, you have to be able to change, whether 3 times or 4 times in just 30 minutes.
Right. You can't standardize your approach to, because each individual is different. Yeah.
No, unless you're teaching, I don't know, a long time ago, maybe in college, the professor might stand there and talk, and you take notes.
Yeah.
And then there, it's up to you to absorb and pay attention. But here, I think it's teacher really have to get across what he's trying to teach.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have students that will not sit still, will not listen. And those things you have to, while you're teaching, you have to be know how to handle those too.
Right.
So it's it's a lot of work. So I really commend all these teachers. I'm not a like I told you, I'm like a Lakota language advocate. You might say activist.
Oh, good.
And I have been doing this for, but I am teaching Lakota language, and also in my duties there as also a teacher consultant. So it's these teachers are, like I always say, that sometimes we hear, oh, that school is doing this and this school is not doing so much. That school is in the middle. But I always say that all these teachers went to school to become teachers, to become professionals. And they know how to manage time, they know how to manage minds, manage people, manage children.
Yeah. And
they know when to go beyond, or they know when to talk to one that's slow, because you're going to always have students that are a little bit slow, some of them are real fast, those things. Now, getting back to you asked me something that it was very hard. It's and I know that I bet you somebody out there that's listening knows. There's a lot of smart people out there. A long time ago, 150 years ago, or maybe 200 years ago, Ryan asked me, when we were living, let's say beyond 1840, 1830, when there was just Lakota here on this land, do we have schools? No. What I told Ryan was teaching was done, everything is oral in our culture. And the storytelling is one of them. Every evening they have, we call them ohunkanka. These are stories about Iktomi, the trickster. And then when you tell a story like that, you listen to it and then you learn. You learn what he's doing to the people, or and the family. There was no teacher then. The teacher was the ina and ate, the mom and dad, or the kaka and the uchi, the grandma and grandpa, or like she and Tony, the uncle and aunt. So, and then like you learn by watching your ate or kaka. And they don't say, Ryan, go out. Ryan, it's going to be like this. Ryan, do this like this. It's more, maybe it's more show and tell, or maybe more show.
Example.
Example. And then that's what I see. But of course, maybe somebody out there knows that maybe there's some information somewhere that have different, maybe there was. I don't think so. I don't think there was schools then. Maybe it was all at home. You learn from home.
I think that answers the question, and I wonder, is there a lodge for that storytelling?
You do it,
because in a way that would become a school if there was a gathering lodge like that. Or,
from what I learned from, like, say my grandfather, it'll be the family. Remember today I had tiwahe, which didn't really work out good. Tiwahe is the mom and dad and the children, and also the grandfather and grandmother. And that's where the teaching is done.
That's the school.
That's
the family.
And I wonder, sometimes we have say talking circles, and like today, one of our virtues is respect, and maybe that respect was very strong because it came right from the family, and maybe today with this way of life is changing. The world is changing. The days are changing. Maybe that respect is taught from home now. Maybe it's done more here, like somewhere, school or somewhere. So maybe we're losing a little bit of that here and there. Maybe it's watered down. And I hear these things. What do you?
Something that occurs to me hearing this is, being that the Lakota are a warrior society, that respect in that the former period of time was a more disciplined form of respect, I think, because you had to have the ability to respond to a situation that may arise at any given moment, whether that situation be a threat of whatever kind. It may have been a bear, or it may have been an enemy coming up into the camp or whatever. And so children would need to be able to respond to like the slightest indication, if it's a hand signal or if it's even a low tone of voice or something like that. And I think about in the educational system today, there's no sense of urgency like there would have been at that time. You know, but that warrior influence, that warrior society influence, will never go away. That's part of the Oyate. That's part of who the Lakota people are. So that's still there in the schools, but that's, you know, there's not that sense of urgency. So I think it's interesting to try to have the kids respond to discipline when there's no like nothing, there's no real sense of urgency anymore, not in the classrooms as they are today. That's something that I think about a lot, you know, with you know, having to repeat things over. You know, sometimes directions have to be repeated because that discipline is not there. Like, no one should have to really repeat anything. So you know, I think you get an idea what I'm trying to say there.
A long time ago, a leader, Vichasha Itancha, that's a leader. Vichasha is man, Itancha is somebody that leads, like Marnie. Vichasha Itancha will have the will of the people, and because that person will have total, I don't know what you want to call, care for his people, because they have that belief in him. And that's what I hear. Like when like I go to these Tioshpai meetings, Tioshpai, and the Tioshpai is a group of Tiwahe families, and they're usually related. And then in there, they have like a leader, and then of course you have the hunters, the Kichita. That it's a big, it's like it's an organization, government, however you want to call it. We call it Tioshpai. And it's not like how it is now, the government that we have. And in those days, you know, you see that, like the warriors that, like Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull, Hump, those leaders were powerful because the people were behind it. And whatever they do and whatever they say gets done. They don't just talk about it. So that's what I see. And then another one that this discipline, like what I see today is like, for example, the class rules. Sometimes, like you mentioned, it's repeated every day. Sometimes even during class it might be repeated. Because why is that anyway? Because a lot of times there's things that happen, there's rules, and if these rules are not enforced, then it becomes just the way of life, you might say, or what?
It could become just ingrained behavior. That even when someone says something that you don't have to listen to it. Is that what you?
you know it's a rule, but you know it's not gonna be enforced.
Yeah.
So you hear it, but you just keep going,
Mm-hmm.
and you get reminded over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And when will that stop? It'll just keep going.
Yeah, that's what the part that I'm referring to, because that becomes a threat to in the way that my mind works. I think of it like, okay, if we ended up in a natural disaster today, I don't wish that upon any of us, but just for an example, and we had to respond to that situation, and you tell someone to do this, and they don't do that. They don't take your, for lack of a better word, your authority seriously, or they don't respect your leadership or your knowledge, or however you want to word that. They can't appreciate what you have as an individual in your life experience, so they don't listen, because they think that there's no severity to the situation. And I don't know, I haven't figured out yet where that's coming from. It seems like it might be part of, like, when you're young and you know all of the stuff that's cool because you watch all the right movies and listen to all the right music and stuff, and then you start to think that you're the authority, that you know what's really important, because that's what their world, that's what's important in a young person's world. But what I think young people need to remember is that you have veterans, and you have, like, people who've experienced lots of things in this world who can lead and teach and give example. Yes.
Yeah, it's very very important, but because of course, no matter what we do, no matter where we go, we always have, we call them in Lakota. There's natural rules, there's man-made rules, and what else is there anyway? So
spiritual rules.
Yeah. So there's always something that there's rules, and who makes them? Some of them we make them. Some of them are been there for a long time. Maybe we call them natural rules, or some of them are, like you said, spiritual rules.
No.
And sometimes another thing that could happen is when you have rules like this, then you scare people. People are afraid to do things.
Oh, yeah.
See? Because maybe they don't ask about it, or maybe someone didn't explain it to them. So then they say, I don't want to do that. Even in the language, if I keep saying that's not right, then they'll be scared.
Right.
Because this language is very, it's not like the English language, where everybody speaks English. This language is, it's only spoken by maybe more older people, not many young people. So if this generation keeps saying that you're not doing this right, or you're saying this wrong, then what are these people? They might not do it. They might not be interested.
I understand.
So that's where I was I always tell my students, remember that thought on the wall, speak with no fear.
Right.
That's why I put that up there, because I want them to just talk, and then they can learn. Maybe down the road they'll learn the right way. But for now, they can say it wrong, and then I'm not going to say that's wrong, and then turn their interest off.
Right.
So I don't know if that's.
that's something I'm working with. Working on understanding better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really the trick of it.
Yeah.
You know, because if you push something a little too far, you can cause irreparable harm in a way. In early developmental stages, like with kids. So I'm trying to understand a lot all at once, like with this.
Now, let's go to the Lakota language for a while. What do you like in the schools? Okay, I think we touched on that very briefly today.
Yes.
Okay. What you do here, are they doing that over there?
At the other schools.
And do you talk to each other? And also, it even goes down to like maybe the communities, the parents.
Yeah.
And communications.
Right.
Interaction, or networking.
Yes.
Today we have the internet. Even on the Facebook, you see people talking Lakota. And so, but down to the schools, even like I think we mentioned teachers too. I think like I mentioned, maybe 30 years ago, if you speak Lakota, then you become a teacher. And as time moves on, then the rule came in, saying, okay, you got to have this piece of paper saying that you're a certified Lakota teacher, or they call it standalone teacher, and it has to be from the education office, state of South Dakota, or you have that, then you will get hired.
Yeah.
Okay, then later on, it might be, okay, you have to have a teacher's certificate, which means that you need to finish 4 years and get your education teacher to teach K-8 or K-12 or Lakota studies too. So we have like these, and then in the meantime, after all these requirements, the ones that come up to the top, are they going to be fluent Lakota teachers? But that'll happen here pretty soon down the road.
With the different programs at each high school, and touching on the topic of communication, is there the equipment set up to have like Skyping between classes? If one Lakota teacher is strong in a certain area, that another, like with different medicine people, how one person knows this way and this, another person knows this ceremony, but no two people have the same knowledge base. So you can do like a exchange program with Skyping, where you have a monitor screen, and it's basically you're watching TV of the person in another classroom in another town on the reservation, teaching of a different subject or topic that you don't necessarily have expertise in. And that way it could be, bring everybody up a lot faster, I think, because you have the strength of however many different teachers rather than just one.
the schools have it. This Windini school, they have the Promethean.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think there's one in the kindergarten. There's see those whiteboards in each room?
Yes.
That's Promethean. And Promethean, when you use Promethean to teach, that whiteboard on your computer, whatever you put on there, you can keep it, and then you can put that on the internet and you can share, or like you say, Skype with other schools.
Yeah.
That goes like, but it's not there yet.
Oh.
Nobody. We're doing it in the kindergarten, Babette and I, but we haven't really, got much on there.
Yeah.
We talked about it during the summer, and we want to do that.
Yeah.
Every chance we get, we're going to put whatever we know on there, and whatever we put on there is proven, or it's right.
Yeah.
Nothing in there is going to be just a dream. So that is very important, what you just put out there. And then I mentioned when we have these teachers with all these certifications, then we do have teachers out there that are not fluent, but they are very, very good Lakota speakers. There's one probably listening tonight, Baha. He's from Boston. He came down here. He comes up here on his storytelling hour. Last year before, him and I sit here and talk like this, and he can talk to me in Lakota, and he'll turn around and speak English.
Gee, I want to do that.
Yeah, maybe you will someday. See that? and people ask me, who is that other Lakota you were talking to on the radio? And it was Baha. And see, he showed me that if you want to speak the Lakota language, that you can do it. And that's why I always tell these the students that if you want to learn this Lakota language, you can do it. But you have to, you got to have that motivation,
right?
And you have to have, well, we always say persevere and commitment, and start learning those words, sentences, columns, thoughts, and put them together, and don't be afraid. So it has been done, and like he can be a very effective Lakota teacher.
I'm thinking about when I was in high school, how I really enjoyed biology, and psychology too. But if I had Lakota class, I would have been way into it. And so I'm thinking, I know there are students out there who they may not necessarily realize it right now, because I didn't necessarily know at the time that that's what I was going to pursue with my education. But it became clear, closer it got toward graduation time from high school, that's what called to me most strongly. Was because I went to school. I studied biology first when I first went to college. So, and here at OLC they have the Lakota language or Lakota culture specialization. So a student who is interested in pursuing that can go there and continue their education in that way.
Yeah, they have Lakota 1 through 4, and then they have the culture. They even have public speaking now. And,
I noticed that.
So, yes, if you're interested and if you want to be a Lakota speaker, it can be done. And that's why this working together is very important. That's working together means that whatever you do, you can actually talk to each other on the internet. You can talk to each other on the, like we have a TV channel from the college that has programs in Lakota. So there's all kinds of ways that you can make this Lakota language. People can hear it. People can see it. Make it very visible. It can be done. And what else? Before we will have like and this horsemanship you mentioned. The other one is this morning I saw horses right there, right outside the window. And see here, a lot of these families have horses, and there's a lot of horseback riding. And so it'd be really nice to have one of these students just go on and speak Lakota and become like a horse or animal science, and become like treat these horses like that.
Like a veterinarian.
Veterinarian.
Yeah, that would be good. That's I was just talking about that today, where there's a teacher at the school who's from, or who got his degree from Colorado State University in Fort Collins, Colorado, and they have a really good animal science program there. In fact, they have the top equine hospital in the country. At least it's one of the top three. But when you're there in a town, you'll hear someone tell you that they have the best something, you know. So what I heard there is that it was the best equine hospital in the U.S. So the top veterinary horse veterinary program in the country, and you're gonna hear like Texas A&M and like probably Cornell University will debate that. But anyway, it's a top-notch program, and you could for sure have some students out of here.
Well, it's 2 minutes to 6, and you're listening to 90.1 KILI Radio, 88.7 in Rapid City, KILIradio.org on the internet. And again, you're listening to the KILI Storytelling Hour, and tonight our story was about Lakota language and respect and a lot of commitment and working together. And anybody can learn the Lakota language, and sometimes you always you go to a Chinese restaurant, and the whole family is talking Chinese, even the little ones. They come up there and they start talking Chinese. You go to a Spanish or Mexican restaurant, and they're all speaking Mexican, even the little kids. But you go to a Lakota restaurant, and the young ones are all speaking English. They don't speak Lakota. So I was wondering, why is that?
we haven't made it to that step yet.
No,
it's en route.
Yeah, it's going to happen. You go to a Lakota restaurant, and everybody's going to be talking Lakota.
There you go.
I want to thank KILI Radio, and I want to thank my Toshka for always being here. So we'll turn it back over to Studio A, and thank you very much. Pilaw Yapal.